Hi guys, my name is Crystal. It's Sunday, it's hot, and I'm just trying to keep cool like everybody else here in Medway is. It's brilliant sunshine, the balcony's got hot sunshine on it. It's hot though, it's severe, it's not a nice heat, it's unbearable. Alexa, good morning.
Good morning. On this day in 1967, the Beatles first performed All You Need Is Love. Its lyrics were deliberately simplistic and captured the utopian ideals of the summer of love. Groovy.
Right, so what was we talking about? Yeah, being in a happy relationship where it's equal and there's love, happiness, there's no violence. Great. But what happened with me, you've got to go right back to the beginning when I was living with my parents as a child, and my mum and dad's relationship was very toxic, right? And I know it's hard to hear, but this happened to me as a child, and I went through it as a child. And no child should have watched, listened, seen what I saw as a kid. And they've got to take responsibility for what they allowed to happen. The government and everybody else that was involved back in the 1960s, 70s, right up till my father was still actively abusing me. In 2011, they've got to take responsibility for what happened and stop shoving it under the carpet, saying I'm mad and just pretending nothing went on. Because that's what's been going on since I was a child. So I was born into the world in 1968, right? My dad was in prison. My father, Derek, was in prison for manslaughter. I was living with my mum. I was 2 years old, up to 2 years old. I can't remember. I was 2 years old when I was living with my mum, and she said she was looking after me while Derek was in prison for manslaughter. I can't remember. Then my dad gets let out early for good behaviour. So if he had a 3-year sentence, he got out after 2 years, right? I think that's lenient right back then, for manslaughter only getting 3 years and then being let out after 2. And this is a baby we're talking about. We're not talking about a grown adult. This was a baby, manslaughter of a baby. I can talk about all this now because my father Derek died 2 years ago. So my father came out of prison and his violent behaviour had not stopped. In fact, it had escalated because he'd gone to prison, he'd come out and he got away with it. The judge gave him a lenient sentence and he got away with it. I grew older and I grew afraid of my father. My earliest memories of being 5 to 7 years old, and my father was hitting me. Violent temper, drinking, smoking, and hitting me, and violently rowing with my mother. So I'm a kid, I'm growing up in all this. My dad hasn't killed me, he's not battered me to death, fortunately. My mum still lives with this man. She lives with him, even though he's committed atrocities. She lives with him. This is my mum ringing the phone whilst I'm talking. It's very odd that my mother's ringing the phone as I'm talking about what happened when I was a kid to me myself. I should have to wait, won't she?